There's no question that centuries of structural racism and generation after generation of poor policy decisions by leaders in this country have created an America where inequality plagues our nation. Inequalities that are disproportionately impacting Black and brown communities. The 4th Congressional District deserves a Congresswoman who will stand up to right those wrongs and who will put the voices of those who have been most harmed at the center of her decision-making. That's why I've partnered with advocates and with activists to craft an equity plan. I'm releasing it today, and it walks you through the ways in which I plan to address these issues. It starts with fixing our broken and unjust criminal legal system and reallocates funding from policing into communities for housing, for education, for transportation, healthcare, mental health care, parks and open space, investments that keep communities safe and center justice. And we're particularly focused on Black and brown communities that we know have been disproportionately impacted by police brutality and mass incarceration. Of course, structural racism in America is not limited to issues of policing or incarceration. It touches every policy area in this country. And of course, there are so many communities that are fighting for justice and equity every single day. That's why my plan talks about how we will fight for equity for the LGBTQ+ community, for communities of color, for Indigenous people, for immigrants, for low-income communities, for those living with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We have so much work to do in this country, and I want to be your partner in that work. I want to earn the right to be called an ally. My promise to you as your next Congresswoman is to center equity in all of my decision-making, to constantly lift up the voices of those, to use a phrase from Ayanna Pressley, who are closest to the pain, to learn from them, to continue my own education, and to know that there will never be a finish line in that work. I look forward to doing this work with you, and I hope that you'll go to my website, jessiemermel.com, to read my plan and join our grassroots movement.